Well, I have no idea. No idea what happened. My laptop screen just went black. The video was gone, and it must have been some sort of a technical glitch. So I'm going to do my best to continue on from here. We probably lost a lot of folks, and that's okay. They'll eventually circle back and find us as part two, as I'm referring to it. And hopefully we can figure out what is going on with technology. Technology is so unreliable. Oh my goodness gravy. Are you able to hear me okay? I am speaking right now. I am speaking right now. Okay. Sound is super duper. Yes. Oh, and welcome to Christine as well from Canada. Hey. Yeah, I've never had that happen before. I've never had a screen just go black like that. All of a sudden there's no video. No video. Goodness gravy. And we were just see, we must have somehow jinxed ourselves because we were talking about these great hats that Susie made from Minnesota. And I was just talking about Laura, and I'm going to send her one down in Indiana, and then the screen went away. So we better hurry up. Maybe it's going to go out again. Maybe there's some sort of a 5G network hacking going on or something. I have no idea. But I'm going to set these off to the side. We'll just keep plugging forward here. So we're getting really, really close. We're getting really, really close. And no, I didn't cut any cord with these fancy shears. I didn't cut a cord, and that's why it went black. I have no idea why it went black, but it did. It went black. Goodness gravy. All right. Well, we're going to move forward decisively in case he decides to go crazy again. Well, isn't this interesting? For some reason, I deal with so many machines, right? I deal with so many machines that I had in my head that this might be a vintage Singer machine. Boy, am I wrong. I am absolutely wrong. This is not a vintage Singer machine. This is a very, very cool white rotary machine, a white rotary. What a beautiful machine. Let me see if I can get this out of the way. And hopefully I can find a suitable decal replacement for Great Granny's machine. I don't know if these are available any longer. I might have to fabricate them. We'll have to see. We'll see what I can come up with. But we're almost down to the bare minimum here of being able to see. And this is really cool what Thalia did. Look at what she did to these spool pins on top. She created like a little cocoon of bubble wrap, and she just tucked it right over the top of them to keep them safe. Just right over the top, like that. Look, look. That's awesome. Really cool. And we've got a serial number. I can see what Thalia is saying now. This serial number is really, really hard to see. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. And if anybody wants to take a swing at trying to look up information on this machine, that would be totally cool. But she is a looker, isn't she? No wonder Great Granny picked this machine out back in the day. Just absolutely spectacular. Very, very cool. A little bit of rust going on, but I encounter a lot of machines that develop rust issues over the years. It's just the nature of where we live. Now, what's in this little goodie bag here? What's in this little goodie bag? We've got the cover, the plate for the bobbin and for the raceway area. See if I'm holding that right way up or upside down. There we go. Cleveland, Ohio. I'll just kind of give you a clearer view of that. Hopefully I'm holding it up to the camera. at the right angle. And again, when you're looking at a plate like this, a slide plate, you'll see a lot of dates on here. These dates are not when the machine was made. These are patent dates. So there are different patent processes that machine makers will go through for the machine, for the design, for certain parts or features of the machine. They'll all have to submit different patents for that. And these are all the different patent dates that are associated with this machine, which it looks like it goes back to the early 1900s, right around April 10, 1900. And again, those are not the dates for the machine, but they are the dates for the patents that the company would have applied for to protect their intellectual property, to protect their property. So, and we have the bobbin case itself, which Thalia very wisely put inside of this container to kind of protect it. And you can see how the top of that, if I kind of take it out, the top of this sticks up in kind of an odd fashion, doesn't it? See how that's sticking up here? Does anyone know what this type of bobbin design is called? I've shown this to you before on the channel. I showed it to you with a Czech Republic machine. I showed it to you with a couple of other machines recently. I believe including that German Phoenix machine as well had this type of bobbin case designed to it. Does anyone remember what these are called? Yeah, put one word in front of that, Emma. Put one word in front of that, and you'll have it bang on. Someone type in the live chat, would you please? Type in the live chat, long beak shuttle. Long beak shuttle. That's what these are called. It's a long beak shuttle type design. And they have a very unique threading process to them, don't they? Yeah, and that's okay. I would guess, and I'm only guessing, kind of looking at the layout of this machine, and we'll clean off this serial plate and see if someone wants to do a little bit of digging during the live stream. But yeah, the dates on this plate are only they're only patent dates. They're not manufacturing dates. These are simply when the patents were, and some of these will be completed patents, and some of these will be pending or open patents back in the day when this was stamped. So some of these may have already been approved by the U.S. Patent Office when this plate was created. Others might still be, and I'm holding it upside down. That's not very helpful. Some of these might be pending. Some of them might be, they've already gone through the process. But a patent can take, like a trademark, a patent can take sometimes 5-6 years to go through the entire process before they finally approve it. So yeah, the patent dates are very different from manufacturing dates. Very, very different. Yep, long beak shuttle. Exactly. Well done. Long beak shuttle. Haha. I love it here too. A little bit of marketing. Use white. What is it? Use white FR needles only. Use white needles. Oh, they're telling you don't use any other needles. So if I put a Schmetz needle in this machine or something else like that, it will blow up. It will literally blow up. Boom. There goes Great Granny's machine right there. So, yeah, cool patent dates. Let me get off this last little section of bubble wrap, and then we're going to clean up this cereal plate a little bit, see if we can get a clearer view of it. See if we can get a clearer view of this. And on this, I think I'm going to use my old-fashioned scissors. I think I'll use my old-fashioned scissors. It might be a little bit easier. I'll give this a try, though. Give this a try. See if we can. Again, I'm not a nurse. I'm not an EMT, but you joined us a little bit later. You lost us. It said 4 EMTs and nurses. And remember, I blacked that out. I used my marker and I crossed it out. So now it's just a generic trauma shears, bandage, scissors. So they can't come get me. They can't lock me up for practicing medicine. I'm not practicing medicine, although I do practice some form of magic, workshop magic in the workshop. So they might be able to get me for that. They might be able to. Okay, so I'm going to use this cool bendable cable thingy that Emma sent me. Got all kinds of wonderful gifts. I got those wonderful hats from Susie from Minnesota. I got these cool shears from Madeline from Naples, Florida. And I got the camera bendy thing that I've got the camera mounted to right now from Emma. So really cool. Cool stuff. Let's see. Singer did the same thing, did they not? Christine, clarify what Singer may have done. I'm going to bend this camera over a little bit. We're going to try to clean up this cereal plate just a little bit. All right, let me check my angle here. I'm really bending this thing, Emma. I'm really bending it. We're getting some serious bending going on here. So this is our cereal plate right now, which is literally nearly impossible for us to see, isn't it? And you saw me do this on another live stream where I kind of cleaned it up a little bit so we could read it more easily. Let's see if we can do that again. You know, look at my screen, make sure I can see that it's pointed the right way. Looks like just a little bit of an adjustment. How's that? Yeah, that's pretty good. So what I do, and there's different ways that this can be done. There's not only one way, is I take my mix. This is my secret mix right here. And it comprises, or it's comprised of, I should say, it's comprised of white. Let me show you on the camera if I can do it. It's comprised of this white, crystal clear, non-staining sewing machine oil. Kind of hold it there for a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so it's got some of that in it. And then it's got some kerosene. And then it has a little bit, just a smidgen of secret sauce. Secret sauce. Yeah. So let's see what it does to the cereal plate, and then we'll add a little bit of a power tool to it. See if we can clean this up. So I'm just going to put this on, let it kind of soak in a little bit. Yeah, already it's starting to come to life a little bit. Coming to life a little bit. Grab a rag and we'll wipe over that a couple times. See all that old gook starting to come off of there. One more dose, I think. Let that soak in there for a little bit. And I can see part of the serial number already. It starts with FR. It looks like 32462. I can't read the last two. The last two are kind of hard to see right now. Now I'm going to let that soak on there, but now I'm going to go over it real gently with a brass polishing brush. And I'm going to use brass because it's a little bit more gentle. It's a little bit more gentle than using, say, a carbon steel. Just have to find it. There we go. But even with brass, this is a brass brush that I picked up at Harbor Freight. And it's going to have a little bit of a softer touch to the serial plate, but still, when you're spinning up to the revolutions that a Dremel type tool like this has, you have to be real careful. Plus, because when this spins, it kind of flares out. You'll see what I mean. It flares out, which means you start with a certain field that it's touching, and then all of a sudden that field is expanded. So it's dangerous because you're working around the painted surface, and you can easily have the brush hit the painted surface and damage the patina. Of course, this machine is going to get a makeover anyway. So if I end up nicking the edge just a little bit, you know what I'll do though to kind of guard it a little bit? Give me just a moment. What I'll do real quick is I'm going to add a little bit of painter's tape around the edges as we clean up this serial plate a little bit. It's actually cleaning up very nicely already. I'm not sure what you're able to see in the shot, but it's cleaned up quite a bit. Let's see if I've got it angled right. I'm going to look at the big screen now. Yeah, you're starting to be able to see it much clearer now, aren't you? And all that is a combination of that crystal white sewing machine oil, some kerosene, and then some secret sauce that kind of dissolves that varnishing on there a little bit. But it still could use quite a bit of cleanup. Don't you agree? Quite a bit of cleanup. See if I can move that camera just a little bit more. I'm getting nervous about this thing blanking out on me or something, but hopefully not. Then we'll have part 3 if we do. Part 3. Yeah, you can kind of see that now. It's not absolutely perfect alignment, but I'm doing my best using this new gadget that Emma sent me, which is really cool. You attach the camera to it, and then it has a bendy, snaky type cable that you can kind of twist different ways and get different angles without having to hold the camera. Yeah, let's see. How's that angle now? Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad angle. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there and grab a little bit of painter's tape, and we'll just create a little bit of a guard around there. Just a little bit of a guard. I got it around here somewhere because I had it out before. Oh, here it is. So painter's tape is obviously safe for the paint surface, but it also is going to afford just a little bit of protection. We just want to create a little bit of a guard around here. So I'm going to move it right over there. Create a little guard right there. And a little bit of guard on this side. And a little bit of guard over here. And a little bit of guard on this side. Just add one couple little more pieces here. And closest to the edges that I'm likely to hit with this brush, I'm just going to add one more layer to it, because that, even though that's brass, it can still cut through. So we're going to see if we can protect it just a little bit better. And then we'll add a little bit more solution to this as a buffer. Part of the reason you put a solution like this, whatever your mixture is, you put a little bit of solution on here because it lowers the friction factor, and it makes that that brush hit that surface with a little bit more softness. Otherwise, it generates a lot of heat, and you can quickly go deeper into whatever you're trying to polish. You can go much deeper into it much quicker than you want and create problems for yourself. So the camera is probably going to muffle out the sound, so I'm not even going to try to talk while we're doing this. I'm just going to try to gently go over the top of this with a couple of sweeps, and we'll see how this this particular brush does. And if you're curious what kind of brush I'm using right now, I'll show you. This comes in a it comes in a 5-piece set at Harbor Freight. This is kind of what it looks like. Let me move the camera temporarily a little bit like that. Comes in a 5-piece set, Chicago Electric. And these are all comprised of brass, and they're designed for like a Dremel type tool. And I don't use these a lot, but I do use them occasionally. And they're nicer than the carbon steel ones. The carbon steel ones are more like this. The carbon steel ones are going to have a more aggressive cutting edge to them. Even though they're designed to polish, they're going to be a little bit more abrasive. And so if you're looking at trying to, clean something up, but you don't want to cut too deep into it, because even polishing brushes can cut into metal, then you want to go with something like this. The brass is going to be about as soft as you can get and still accomplish the end. And then we create that little bit of a buffer by adding that solution to the surface so that it lowers that friction and that abrasive factor even more. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's see how we can do with this. And I'll try this first. And if it doesn't work well, then I've got a very gentle touch when it comes to working with the carbon ones, which generally will do very good cleaning as well. And I may try using that instead. So let's see what we do. And you can see how far I've got this extending out right now. I'm going to lower it down a little bit. That's why you're hearing that extra vibration. I'm going to lower this into that shaft a little bit further, and then hopefully it will not vibrate as much. But it's such a light metal that it's going to tend to get that vibration issue. Okay, let me see what we got here. Just going to put on my magnifiers real quick. Put on my magnifiers so I even get a closer view of it. Again, a very, very gentle touch, almost like you're brushing over it. And you notice I'm going one direction. I'm not going back and forth. One direction. Starting to become real clear. Hopefully you can see that on the camera too. We're starting to see that very, very nicely. And what I'll do eventually is, you've seen me do this before, is I will inlay these again with a dark enamel. We'll have a nice shiny background, and then I will use my dental tools to get into, where is it? I'll use my dental tools to get right into these stamping points and infill that with a nice black enamel, so it'll make these numbers pop even more than they are. But we can actually start to see it pretty clear now. You can probably see it better than I can on your screen. And we certainly have more cleanup to do. You can see on the edges, we still have a lot of the varnishing on the top, but the main core part where that number is, we've got some good visibility. This last number right here, the second to the end, is a little bit hard to see for me, but maybe you can see it more clearly on your end. Maybe you can see it more clearly on your end. But again, if you're going to be using a polishing device like this, it's so easy to get anxious. It's so easy to get anxious and to start to really press down. The touch that I had on this when I was doing that was incredibly light, very, very gentle, just basically grazing over the top of it and slowly removing those layers of varnish. And obviously we have more cleanup to do before that plate is completely finished. But you can see what a nice job this painter's tape did of protecting the area around it. And it didn't take us that long to put this into place. And then we can just as easily, I think we're going to stop at this point, we can just as easily peel this back now. So if anyone is able to, I can't quite make out that the second to the last number. Maybe you can see it more clear than I can. If anyone wants to type the number into the live chat as you can see it, and then we'll see if anyone's able to get us more information on this machine during the live stream. Otherwise, I'll do my research afterwards and let Thalia know what I can find out about Great Granny's machine. There we go. I think that's a pretty good shot. It's about as good as I can do with my setup right now. Okay, I'm going to look at the live chat real quick. You can kind of see what I put on. I'll just show you real quick for fun. This is kind of what I put on. So I could get even closer because those bristles are spinning with so much ferocity. I wanted to make sure I could really see where they were touching so we didn't cut through the painter's tape. And then we'll kind of move around a little bit more and look at Great Granny's machine more closely. All right, I'm going to look at the chat real quick. I'll look at the chat, and then we'll turn around. We'll change our camera angle after everyone's had a chance to get a really clear view, a clear view of that serial number, to see if we can narrow down a little bit more when this machine would have potentially been made. Oh, brilliant. So Christine is apparently able to see it with her, whatever she's using to view this live stream. She's able to see it. Whoops, it just moved. There goes my camera. It's getting a mind of its own again. There we go. Yeah, Robin offered some good advice, didn't she? Robin offered some good advice whenever you're working with a Dremel style tool. And I've talked about this before, that when you're working with something like this, I'll just show you the carbon-based one. These tiny little bristles, these little wires that comprise this, they will come loose as this is spinning, and they will just fly through the air. They will fly through the air with no mercy. No mercy. And I always wear eye protection like Robin was suggesting. But I've literally had them kind of hit against my face. And again, they're flying with a lot of speed. So Robin's advice is well-founded. You got to be really careful when you're working with anything that's going to spin something up, because it can easily hit you, can't it? And if I'm dealing with something where I'm actually dealing with even something more aggressive, I usually wear my regular glasses, but I've also got these as well. And these are kind of a wraparound where they provide protection. They provide protection on all sides, so that you're able to have even more confidence that you're not going to get an eye injury. Because, yeah, eyes don't grow back, do they? Eyes do not grow back. Okay, and based on Christine's research, and again, in our forum, we all learn from each other, don't we? I say that all the time. This is not a Scott is the sewing savant vintage guy, and whatever he says, you just take it at face value. I always encourage all of you to fact check and to verify. Like Ronald Reagan used to say, you trust but you verify. You trust but you verify. So if anyone wants to fact check and just double check what Christine posted, she's saying 1917 to 1920, sometime in that range. And that sounds pretty believable to me. And there were a number of machine manufacturers that made similar design machines to this. A lot of them came out of the National Sewing Machine Company as well. That also was based on the East Coast region. So they sometimes mirror and mimic each other very, very closely. And that makes it even more confusing sometimes to date a sewing machine, doesn't it? But you've had a chance to look at this long enough, and Christine typed the serial number into the live chat as well. So I'm going to expand our view a little bit. Expand our view. Hopefully I don't knock anything loose. I didn't do that before. The camera just went out. I have no idea what happened. I'm trying to bend this thing. It's got kind of a mind of its own. I'll just leave it right there. I'm not going to wiggle it around anymore. But these particular spool designs were used by a number of different manufacturers. They were very popular in the white rotary class, but certainly others use this same type of arm and pillar design, very, very similar to this. So I'll kind of rotate this around. If you look at, does anyone want to type in the live chat as you look at this decal pattern? You look at this decal pattern that White Rotary used on Great Granny's machine. What does this resemble? What does this particular decal pattern resemble from the Singer company that used a similar decal? Does anyone know what this kind of resembles? And if you do, just type it into the live chat. It's got two different names people typically refer to it by, but this very closely, in my eyes at least, resembles that particular pattern that became incredibly popular with a lot of the early vintage machines that Singer rolled out. Everyone fell in love with that pattern immediately. Fell in love with it immediately. It's not the Lotus. That's a real good guess, Emma. It's not the Lotus. And Robin typed something in that was along the same lines of my thinking. Note what Robin typed in the live chat. If you look at this decal pattern and you compare it to the Singer version of gingerbread or Tiffany decal pattern, it's going to have a lot of those same attributes. As a matter of fact, I wonder if at some point, I wonder, because as many of you know, the sewing machine companies back in the day, as they were developing their footing, they were very, very litigious. They were very, very litigious. They were suing people for everything from left to right. And I wonder if at some point, if White and or the National Sewing Machine Company received a lawsuit from Singer claiming that they were replicating or duplicating the gingerbread Tiffany pattern. Now, I'm not familiar with the Rose Maling. Whoever it looks like Chris B typed in Rose Maling. Tell us a little bit more about that decal pattern, and as you look at this, why you feel it might resemble that one as well, because it could very well represent that one also. Could be very similar. I'm just kind of rotating the machine around. You can see the length of the machine a little bit better this way, and the decal pattern running down the back and the front. Yeah, I'd like to hear more about this Rose Maling. That sounds intriguing. And Robin is retyping it, separated Rose and then Maling. And if any of you want to share your knowledge with us as to how does the Rose Maling, I assume that's the decal pattern, how does that mimic or represent this or reflect this type design, similar to the Tiffany or the it's referred to also as the gingerbread pattern. And there's some variation on this. Even the coloring, I can see the original colorings on the faceplate has some of those green hues, that we might even see on, say, the red eye original patterns, or some of the Lotus patterns have that kind of green hue that accompanies the yellow accent pattern as well. Oh, decorative painting Scandinavian. How cool. See what I'm saying? Isn't it great to share knowledge back and forth during these live streams? So it's actually a type of, I assume, hand painting, isn't it? Decorative painting Scandinavian. Very cool. And I don't know if Robin is a very smart gal in Minnesota. I don't know if she just knew that or if she Googled it. I probably would have had to have Googled it. I mean, I'm just being honest. But let me see if I can get you different angles of this machine, and we can just see it a little bit more clearly. I might also see if I can. I might take this camera off the table and see if I can get a little bit closer to this as well, because right now we're fairly close, but it might be a little bit harder to see it. Maybe I can just bend it over a little bit like this. Let's see if that works. Yeah, there you got a little bit clearer view of this, and I can back this up a little bit to give you a little bit bigger field of vision. I'm just going to take the camera off the table. It'll be easier for me, I think, as I'm trying to do this right now. Scandinavian painting. How cool is that? How interesting is that? Robin, Robin only lives in Minnesota, and she is one of the recipients of one of the cool hats that Susie prepared for me, right? If Robin wants to travel to the workshop and show me how to do this Rose Maling Scandinavian hand painting, there's an open invitation, Robin. Come anytime. Just give me give me a day's notice. They are traveling from Minnesota over to Wisconsin, and we'll actually do a live stream, and you can show me some of this cool Rose Maling Scandinavian hand painting. I think that would be totally fantastic and cool and awesome. So open invitation. Open invitation. Yeah, thank you to all of you that are contributing your knowledge. Oh my goodness, Robin used an exclamation point. She says, "I don't do it. I don't do it." Oh, Robin, oh, you popped my bubble. I thought we were going to do a Rose Maling live stream. Doggone it. Doggone it. Oh, goodness, my camera's turning every which way but loose. All right, let's take a look at this a little bit closer. All right, cancel that idea. We are not going to do a Rose Maling live stream. I thought about it, was ready to do it. Robin was going to come to the workshop. We were going to do it. But, and also let me, as Christine did her due diligence during the live stream to try to do some research on this machine, let's keep digging. Let's keep digging, because sometimes information and Christine can testify to this. She and I were having a sidebar conversation. We were having a sidebar conversation via text, and she was talking about this new machine acquisition that she had. She acquired a new machine, a 15-90. And as we were going through some of the steps of identifying and classifying the machine and finding the date pattern and everything, we found a number of abnormalities with this particular machine that was made in Canada. So while we can get some initial impressions about what dating this machine might have, I encourage others, if you want to do more research, and then send me a note through Facebook Messenger or text me through my cell phone, so that we can even narrow it down more and just be absolutely sure that, okay, yep, that initial research that Christine did during the live stream is spot on, and it was made, 1917 and 1920, or we might find out something different. So let's keep digging. Number one, thank you to Christine for doing that. Thank you. But let's also do a little bit more digging as well and see what we come up with. Like I said, you can trust something, but we can also verify it further. So that's what we'll do. So here's our faceplate area. We've got our tensioner right there, take-up arm and all of that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And it's actually moving right now, which is pretty cool. It is hitting something down here with a needle. Kind of show you that from the side. It could be that the needle that's in the machine is actually bent. So, but I'm just kind of showing you the undercarriage of the machine a little bit as well. Kind of tilt it back. We'll look at the bottom of the machine also. So a combination of rust and varnishing is what we're seeing. And you kind of see these pedestal feet that I'm talking about that were kind of poking through the bubble wrap. Um, they're very fragile. You know, whenever you have a cast material like this, even if it's metal, it's very susceptible to breakage. So that's where I say if you add a little bit of extra padding to it, it definitely won't hurt. It definitely will help you quite a bit. And these are a little bit more recessed over here. These two on the front are shorter, but it's really designed to be in a table anyway, isn't it? It's always designed to be in a table. Take a closer look at that faceplate. You can see some of that green kind of popping through there on the decal pattern. Quite spectacular, isn't it? Isn't Great Granny's machine is quite spectacular. Look at the back of the machine a little bit. I think I'm getting a sewing machine delivery. You might be able to hear Hank in the background a little bit barking at someone, most likely a UPS and FedEx person. Then on the back of here, we've got the proud badge mark of the White Rotary Company, made in the USA. And on the back of the pillar, we've got more of that beautiful decaling. I'm kind of gingerbread Tiffany type style, Scandinavian style, whatever it is, but it's quite spectacular, isn't it? And it does have some wear spots on it here and here, but all in all, it's incredibly intact, intact for a machine from the uh, early 1900s. Same thing on the inside of the pillar. Kind of get underneath there so you can see that as well. Trying to get the right angle without disconnecting us here. There we go. And if you're saying to yourself, if you've been attending a lot of live streams and you're saying to yourself, it seems like this camera is doing a better job of focusing. It seems like it's focusing better close up. What I discovered is there was an app that I could download from the Razer Kaio Pro website in order to set the default, or in order to change the default settings for this camera. It actually has firmware built into the camera, and I could narrow the field that the camera was looking for from wide all the way down to narrow, and then increase the sensitivity of the autofocus. So it's doing a much better job in focusing in when I get real close to the machine than it did in the past, which I'm really encouraged by. Kind of look on the back of the bed here as well, kind of go down there. And here on the end, you'll see uh, what happens over time if someone is trying to clean up, say, the bed of the machine. They're trying to, use some sort of a cleaning agent, whatever it is, and they're buffing over it, even if it's with a microfiber cloth. Once that clear coat is compromised, there's no protection for the decal. And the colorized portion of the decal, when you're rubbing on it, will actually come off. And it'll either present as a silver type look, or in this case, a white color. This is actually where someone tried to polish this up or clean it up a bit, and they actually took the original coloring of the decal away. So if you're trying to tidy up your machine a little bit, just be real careful. Kind of like you saw me when I was cleaning up that cereal plate. I took it in very, very gentle, cautious steps and a real gentle touch. It's the same thing when you're cleaning up your machine patina, especially if you're not sure how much clear coat you have left. Because the clear coat is the only thing. The clear coat is the only thing, or some people refer to it as a veneer. That clear veneer, or that clear coat, is the only thing protecting your decals from the outside world, and the only thing protecting your original paint finish as well, that base coat. So just be real, real cautious and take it slow, take it easy, take it gentle whenever you're trying to clean up your vintage sewing machine. And choose your chemicals or your solutions very carefully. One of the best things to use on a painted surface like this is good old-fashioned sewing machine oil. Even if there's kerosene in it, it's still going to be safe for that surface. And if you just put a little bit on there, kind of like I'm doing right here, just put a little bit on there, and then just take your finger and gently rub it in. All of a sudden, you'll see the beauty of that decal starting to come back. Isn't that pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, same thing over here. Kind of just going down. So it doesn't have to be an incredibly aggressive process. You don't want to use anything real abrasive against your vintage sewing machine. Even if you've got a fair amount of clear coat base on top of it to protect the decals, you still want to take it gentle. Just take it gentle and just kind of work that oil in to the finish. And obviously this is all going to go away. I was demonstrating that just to demonstrate it. This machine that belonged to great granny that Thalia sent in, eventually all of this is going to go away. It has to. It has to all go away. And we take it all the way down to bare metal. And then I build it all the way back up again, as you've seen me do with other machines. But it is nice to know if you don't want to go with a more aggressive route of stripping the machine down to bare metal, disassembling it, and all of that, you can add a lot of beauty back to the finish and the patina of that machine by using simple sewing machine oil, maybe with just a touch of kerosene and a little bit of workshop magic in there as well. So, and you might have to do this a couple of times, just gently. I always recommend going one way, just gently, gently, gently. Gentle, 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 gentle. But you can see what a difference we've made even in those few little brief steps. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's fun to bring the beauty back after it's been masked. It's been masked over by years and years and years of dirt and varnishing and just filth, right? I mean, everything sticks to this machine, doesn't it? There's our pillar one. You've already seen that. Our balance wheel, which I think is incredibly impressive. Again, I showed you the length and the span of this. It's just huge. It's a huge balance wheel compared to a traditional Singer spoked wheel. A Singer spoked wheel would not nearly be this large, not nearly this large. Quite amazing, quite amazing. Beautiful design. And what a privilege Thalia had to learn on this machine. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And her mom got it. Her mother got this machine from her mom when she was just a little kid as well. So this has been in the family all that time, all that time. And now it's going to get a dose of workshop magic and paint shop magic. And eventually you'll see this machine live streamed on this channel. And Thalia will be able to sit there giggling, saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's the same machine. I can't believe it's the same machine. And she already has one machine from the workshop, that featherweight Centennial model. I forgot to mention it. It wasn't just a featherweight. It was a featherweight Centennial model that I hope she places somewhere prominently in her quilting extravaganza store, where people can go, what a beautiful machine. Where did you get that machine from? And she can say, I got it from Scott. And here's one of his cards, by the way. Yeah, shameless plug, Thalia. I know, shameless plug. But yeah, this will be quite an amazing project, won't it? Quite an amazing project to do. So thank you to Thalia for sending this treasured machine that belonged to great Granny and to her mother, and now to her. And now I'm going to see what I can do to restore its greatness so that this will become an incredible family heirloom to this beautiful family out in the great state of Missouri. And you can look up Thalia just as well as I can on Facebook. You'll have to look at the progress of this amazing quilting shop. There's also going to be, I think, a woodworking shop attached to it as well, some other surprises. And I'm sure all of you eventually, if Thalia allows it, I don't know if she allows it or not. I hope she allows me to come and check it out and to document it with some video. But if it's open to the public, won't that be an amazing place to make a trip in the summer and go and visit Thalia's brand new quilting shop that she and her family have set up there? It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay, well, that's it. Before our live stream fizzles out again and I lose video, I don't know what happened there, but before we lose video again, I'm going to go ahead and put this camera back into place, get a nice shot of this amazing white rotary, and then we'll wrap up this live stream so you can get going with the rest of your Saturday plans. Just going to make sure I've got it attached properly so I don't drop another camera. All right, get this adjusted up. I'm figuring this out. I'm figuring it out slow but sure. I'm getting really close to figuring this snaky cable thing out. Getting really close. There we go. Almost got it. Almost got it. All right, so I'm going to put this like this so we can see great Granny's machine. And thank you again to all of you, especially if you were at the first live stream when the video went out and you returned back to join this second live stream to celebrate the arrival of this spectacular white rotary that belonged to Thalia's great Granny. And also thank you to the moderating team for making everyone feel welcome. Thank you to the ones that I saw, and if I missed any of the moderators, please let me know. But I saw Sunny, I saw Christine, I saw Emma. Who else? What other moderators? Oh, and Susie. I saw Susie as well. So all of those moderators that made folks feel welcome. That's really the message that we want to deliver, is that when you come to join a live stream, we're so happy you're here. We're so happy you took valuable time out of your busy Saturday and joined us. And joined us for a specific purpose, not to hear me blah, 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 but to see this spectacular machine that has been in Thalia's family for so many years, for decades, and to celebrate her arrival to the workshop and the opportunity to restore the greatness to her. She's already, I think, quite a spectacular looking machine as she is. And with some workshop and paint shop magic, she will be ready for the Smithsonian. And the Smithsonian is going to be the Smithsonian at Thalia's and her family's place. It's not going to go to the Smithsonian. Don't start saying, oh, they're going to send it to the Smithsonian. No, we're not. No, we're not. It's going to go back to Thalia and her family out in the great state of Missouri. But it's going to be so spectacular. She's going to have spies. She's going to have spies from the Smithsonian coming out to her quilt shops and kind of eyeballing it. And she better have like cameras set up and some security, maybe her hubby at the door strapped on with a little sidearm saying, don't even touch Great Granny's machine. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about touching Great Granny's machine. You people from the Smithsonian, it's ours. It's ours. Yeah. So, all right. God bless everybody. And thank you to everybody that jumped into the live chat. If you didn't, that's okay. Because a lot of our folks that are part of the live chat regularly now sat in the shadows for a really long time before they felt comfortable in stepping out into the light and introducing themselves. So it's great to have everybody here, whether we can see you or whether we can't see you. It's great to have you here. And thank you again to Thalia and her family for sending this beautiful heirloom piece that we're going to do some special magic to make it a spectacular piece for the family to cherish for many, many, many generations to come. Many generations. All right. God bless everybody. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Change my camera angle one more time. One more time. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have changed it. I'm still figuring this camera thing out. Oh, good gravy. Now it's starting to crash and burn. It's crashing and burning. Help, help, help. All right. I'm going to try twisting it one more time, then I'm going to stop. I'm not going to touch it again. Maybe one more time. All right. That's good enough. I'm not going to goof around with it anymore. I'll end up disconnecting us. All right. Take care, everybody. And thank you again to everybody for taking valuable time on a Saturday to celebrate the arrival of this incredible machine that Thalia and her family sent from the great state of Missouri. So, see if I can do a little bit more. There we go. I think that's pretty good. I'll rotate it a little bit, maybe. I'll be like a daisy wheel. Oh, look at mom, it's moving. Look at mom. It's magical. It's magical. It's moving. Yeah, she's a beauty, isn't she? She's quite a beauty. Front and back, it doesn't matter. Let's see if I can tilt it towards the camera a little bit. I'm still getting used to this camera. It takes a little bit of time, doesn't it? It takes a little bit of time. There we go. So close, so close. Almost got it. All right. Yes, yes. Ha ha. Oh, yeah. I wish you could see this snaky thing that Emma sent me. It's amazing, but it kind of has a mind of its own. You know what I mean? You bend it one way, and it's like, I don't want to bend that way. I'm going to go the other way. But thanks for your opinion, Scott. Yeah. You smart aleck, snaky thing. I'll win in the end. I'll win in the end. All right. Take care, everybody. See ya. See you guys next time. Have a great weekend and God bless. Bye.